I want to bring in Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois, a member of the Armed Services Committee. Senator, thank you very much for being back on the show. It's good to see you.
It's good to be on. Thank you.
As you well know, this tanks issue was not super clear cut from the perspective of the Biden administration. We at NBC News have been reporting that both the defense secretary, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff were opposed, had some concerns about sending these tanks because of how long it takes to train people to do them, because of maintenance, for example. Do you believe that this is the right move from the Biden administration?
Well, I think it is the right move to move forward along with our NATO allies. I think once Poland and Germany decided that they would commit to providing Leopard tanks, that it's the right thing for us to do as a member of that alliance to move forward with our M1 Abrams tanks as well. But as you've mentioned, really the most appropriate platform right now is probably the Leopard tank, which Poland is already using, and that they could begin training the Ukrainians on immediately. The M1A1 Abrams tank probably is something that would be further down the road. And I think if you really want tanks downrange right away in Ukraine, the Leopard tank is the one that they're going to have to move forward with.
Let me ask you about something else that we just covered here on the show, and that is this series of shootings in California. It's not just California. If you look back across the country, there have been more shootings than days of the year so far in 2023, 39 of them, according to the Gun Violence Archive. As you know, it is only January 24th. We heard President Biden just a moment ago in a meeting with top Democrats at the White House suggest that something like an assault weapons ban should make it through Congress. Pragmatically, what do you realistically see happening? Because there's this moment of deja vu, right, when people like me ask senators like you this question, because we can all look at history, we can all look at past precedent and see, frankly, what has not happened in this instance. In a divided Congress, is there any shot of meaningful legislation on this, or do you believe it's better to focus your efforts elsewhere?
Well, I am fully supportive of an assault weapons ban outright. Also, I would throw into that high-capacity magazines. That's the other thing that is a common denominator in these mass shootings is the presence of a high-capacity magazine. So both need to be banned. However, you raise a very good point. I do think there are things that we can do as we fight for that all-out assault weapons ban. We could, for example, raise the age for owning an assault weapon from 18 to 21, something that I was pushing hard for when we passed the arms act that we did last year, the SAFER Act. So there's something that we can do. We have closed the gun show loophole. We need to continue to do that. We can go ahead and ban the high capacity magazines. So yes, we need to be fighting for that assault weapons ban, but there are also smaller incremental steps that we can take as well.
There has been a series of developments late today as it relates to the handling of classified items. I'm sure you know that former Vice President Mike Pence, now the latest administration or former administration official to have, in his attorney's terms, inadvertently found a small number of these documents at his home in Indiana. I wonder your reaction on that and your thoughts on the idea that there is perhaps a systemic problem here, given what we've seen now with these three leaders, different situations, but these three leaders.
Well, I am deeply concerned that there has been mishandling of classified documents. You know, as a soldier, if I had been caught with a classified document at home, I would have been in a lot of trouble. And I think that we certainly need to review what has happened here, which is why I support the independent investigators moving forward in both the case for President Biden and former President Trump. But I have to make it clear that there's a difference here between intent. I think that in the case of President Biden and Vice President Pence, there was not an intent to hoard and hide these documents as there was with President Trump, which is why I think it's important that the independent investigators move forward. And then I think overall we need to review how the executive branch is handling such sensitive equipment.
Would you support an investigation into Mr. Pence as well?
Yes, as long as it's independent.
And do you believe the White House is handling this? And I'm asking you this because you're a Democrat and it's a Democrat in the White House here. Do you believe that the White House and the president have handled this appropriately as it relates to transparency, for example, not on the issue at hand, but of how they've revealed some details about this?
Yes, I think they're the ones who brought it forward, and they were the ones who went looking for it, and then they are moving forward and bringing the documents forward and turning them in. Similarly, Vice President Pence has done the same thing as well. So I'm glad that they're showing that they are coming forward and to outright say, hey, we found these documents, we're turning them in. Very different from what President Trump did, which was he actually actively tried to hide and conceal the documents from investigators.
Before I let you go, one more, and I want to get slightly political here because Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallego just announced that he is going to be challenging sitting Senator Kyrsten Sinema for her Senate seat in Arizona this cycle. Have you given any thought to who you'd like to serve with in the next Congress?
Well, I've served with them both. I was in the House. We were all freshmen together
let's say in 2025, Senator. Who do you want to see? Have you thought about it?
Let me see. Well, I don't know who all else is going to jump into the race. Right? We don't know who all is going to jump into the race. Senator Sinema hasn't said that she's going to run for re-election yet either. So I'm going to wait and see who all declares. And when we've got the filing deadline passed, and I'll make up my mind then.
All right. We hope to have you back then and often. Senator Tammy Duckworth, thank you very much. It's good to see you as always. Appreciate it.